Okay, so today we're going to talk about happiness and how happiness can be achieved. Happiness is what we're all striving for, and there are ways to become happy. So, a lot of it is by using the tools we've already discussed to root out those weeds in your garden that you no longer need, or that no longer serve you, or that are just draining your energy, and plant your positive seeds. So the more positive seeds in your garden, the happier you're going to be. And so it's all about trying to create this change. Again, the change comes through intention. So you have to create an intentional practice every single day. Now, in order to be happy, you have to have happiness in the present through that intentional practice and having your attention in the present moment. But you also have to have a positive vision for the future, because the future is going to be what drives you and what you try and strive for. So you need a bit of a balance. For example, when people are always striving to have something tomorrow, so it's like, I'll be happy when I have my new job, I'll be happy when I have a new car, I'll be happy when I have kids, I'll be happy when I'm married, I'll be happy when I am retired. All these things, you're creating excuses because those moments are never really gonna happen. The only thing that ever happens is right now. So happiness comes from your growth, your contribution, and your experiences. So you need to have a good balance of those three things. If you just have experiences, you're probably going to be happy, but you might not have a good vision for the future. If you're only contributing and you're not really experiencing life, chances are you're going to be missing out as well. And your growth as well. You have to be continually growing. So planting these good seeds and trying to create this lovely garden for your mind. Now, when you're creating your goals, you have to be careful because you'll have your end goals and your mean goals. So means goals might be like a job or getting a house or getting a car, or it's something that you might imply with status. End goals are a real goal. So an end goal might be something you've always really wanted to do. So hiking a mountain, doing a big trip, something that's sort of life-changing and awe-inspiring. Now your end goals are going to create lasting happiness, and ideally you're going to have more happiness when you're striving to get those things. End goals will trick you because you're probably not going to be happy while you're working towards them. And then when you do have them, you're still probably not going to be happy because have you ever worked up towards getting a job, and then when you've got the job, you've just found something else to work towards? I know I have. I'm guilty of it. Yes. So it's tricky, but if you have these end goals in mind, it's a really nice way to have happiness while you strive for that. Now, neutrality is also important. So there was a farmer in Nepal, and he worked very hard on his farms, and one day one of his horses ran away. His neighbor came over and said, "Oh, how unlucky is it that your horse ran away?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back, and it brought back all these wild horses. His neighbor came over and said, "Oh, look how lucky you are. You've got all these new horses." He said, "Maybe." The next day, his son was trying to break a horse. He came off and broke his leg. His neighbor came over and said, "Oh, how unlucky that your son is injured and he can't work." He said, "Maybe." The next day, the army came over and they were conscripting for the army, and they wouldn't accept his son because he had a broken leg. And his neighbor came around and said, "Oh, look how lucky it is that you didn't have to watch him go to war." And he said, "Maybe." So things in life can appear as good or bad, but it's good to not label them because you don't really know if they're good or bad, because they can create alternative circumstances later on. So a sense of neutrality is important. Now, I can say for me, so I had a few traumas in myself and quite a few obstacles to overcome, but I wouldn't label it as any of those things being good or bad because you don't really know. At the time, I thought it was terrible, but in essence, it makes you learn, it makes you grow, so these things can often be seen as good. If you label something as bad, that's just another weed in your garden that you're gonna have to pluck up. So try to keep that neutral sense. One thing I think's quite cool is that maybe you have to have those hard times in order to see the light, because you learn about growth. So I think a lot of people who live a comfortable life and they don't really go through many challenges, I think they live on quite a average kind of plane. Whereas if you've had these pretty bad dips, if you've hit your rock bottom, it means you can grow and you can come past that your neutral point and you can live a life of continuous growth. So sometimes it can be quite nice to have embarrassment or pain or suffering in your life. So I'm going to share a few tools to work on because we haven't really run through too many tools. Overcoming fear, there's a really nice exercise in your mirror. And so you have to look at yourself in the eye. So you're looking into your spirit and you're saying, Steve, I'm proud of you for yada, yada, yada. Steve, I'm proud of you for yada, yada, yada. Repeat it. Steve, I forgive you for yada, yada, yada. Steve, I forgive you for yada, yada, yada. Steve, I commit to you, yada, yada, yada. So you're making plans, you're letting go of anything you're holding on to, and you're really committing to yourself. Now, this has to be a repetition. Think about it as a good seed in your garden, and every time you're doing that mirror exercise, you're watering the seed so it can grow into a plant. This will help you push on and create a vision that you can work towards. So you have to be consistent. Try and look at those weeds, and if they come up, you don't get angry with them. You just think that's a weed. You replace that with some positive energy. If you start having those negative beliefs, try to pluck them. So just think, no, that's wrong, and replace them with positivity. Now, mindfulness is really important. So there's a lot of meditations out there. If you haven't tried meditating, I really encourage it. I would start pretty slow and easy. There's meditation podcasts absolutely everywhere, so give that a shot. Remember, it's like a muscle, so the first time you train, you might not be very strong. You have to work up, so don't expect you can just go and meditate for half an hour straight away. No one can do that. It's a skill. Creative visualization is a really, really nice tool to help you move towards your goals. So we're going to run through one in a minute. And last thing is, before bed, just think to yourself, or you can say out loud 5 things you love about yourself and 5 things you're grateful for. So gratitude is a really nice tool, and we're going to do that with the creative visualization. So right now, we're going to try an exercise. What I'd like you to do is find a comfortable place and close your eyes. Now, behind your eyes, try and picture a big screen TV. So the largest TV you can possibly imagine. Try and make the TV as clear as you can. And I want you to try and place your current situation into that screen. You can attach any emotion or any beliefs that you have with your current situation and try and just be here for a moment. You can have any negativity, And then what I want you to do is let it go. So get rid of it. Turn it off. Now I want you to come up with another image. So think about something in the near future, the far future, whenever you really like, and try and think about a moment where you're truly happy. So all your goals have come true, whatever you're striving towards has come true, your body works well, your mind is working well, you're happy, everybody else around you is happy. Try and paint this as clearly as you can. So really paint it, every detail. Think about who might be there. What are they wearing? What does their hair look like? Try and feel this with all your senses. So think about what you might be hearing at this event, what you might be smelling. So whether it's a Christmas or it might be another special event with some special food. Think about what the weather might be doing. So is it cold? Is it hot? What are you walking on? Are you walking on grass? Are you walking on snow? And what does that feel like? Try and really feel that emotion with it. Now, what I want you to try and do is tell yourself that you want this or something better than this. And then think about 2 people apart from you who would you benefit from this situation. Lastly, I want you to think about 3 things that you're really grateful for. When you feel that gratitude, try and embrace it. So feel how good that feels. This is what you want to strive for. So these can be really nice tools to overcome those weeds and help you grow some nice plants in your garden, because the weeds are just going to continuously bring you back to square one and they're going to drain your energy.